Have you ever helped someone with all your heart, only to discover that your kindness had become your greatest weakness? Perhaps you've given your trust, your time, your patience, believing that goodness always awakens goodness in return. But life has a quieter truth. Kindness can change a moment, yet it cannot always change a person's nature. Long ago, in the ancient forests of India, a humble traveler named Dev Sharma learned a lesson the world never forgot.
Dev was known not for wealth or power, but for something far rarer: compassion. No traveler ever left his side hungry. No wounded bird was ignored. No thirsty animal was chased away. People often smiled and said, if goodness had a face, it would look like Dev.
One autumn morning, Dev began a long journey through the Vindhya forest to visit a distant temple. The air smelled of damp earth. Golden sunlight slipped through towering sal trees, painting shifting patterns across the narrow path. Birdsong echoed above, while somewhere in the distance, a stream whispered over smooth stones. It was the kind of morning that made the world feel peaceful, until he heard a roar. Not the roar of a hunter, but the cry of someone drowning in despair. Dev followed the sound cautiously. Hidden beneath thick vines stood an old iron cage. Its bars were rusted, its chains buried beneath years of fallen leaves. Inside lay a magnificent Bengal tiger. His once glorious coat was covered in dust, his ribs pressed against his skin. His amber eyes, though still fierce, carried exhaustion instead of anger. The tiger slowly lifted his head. Please. His voice was weak. Do not be afraid. Dev instinctively stepped back. A tiger asking for mercy? The tiger gave a faint smile. For 7 days I have been trapped here. Hunters captured me. They took my family. They left me to die. His voice trembled. I no longer ask for freedom. I only ask not to die alone. Dev remained silent. Every lesson he had ever learned warned him against trusting a wild beast. Yet another voice whispered inside him. If suffering stood before you, would you turn away? The tiger noticed his hesitation. If you fear me, I understand. But tell me, Brahmin, if your child were trapped, would you not pray for someone kind enough to help? Those words pierced Dev's heart. Compassion often speaks louder than caution. Slowly, he walked toward the cage. His hands trembled as he touched the heavy iron latch. He looked into the tiger's eyes one final time. Will you promise me that you will leave in peace? The tiger bowed his head. You have my word. With great effort, Dev lifted the rusted bar. The door groaned open. For a long moment, nothing happened. Then the tiger stepped outside. One careful step, then another.
He stretched his powerful legs. He lifted his face toward the sky and inhaled deeply, as though tasting freedom itself. Dev smiled.
Seeing another living creature freed from suffering filled his heart with quiet joy. But then, the tiger stopped. His ears twitched. Slowly, he turned toward the Dev. His tired eyes were gone. In their place, burned the sharp gaze of a hunter. He began walking, not away from Dev, toward him. Each step was slow, measured, silent. Dev's smile faded. You promised. The tiger stopped only a few feet away. I did. His voice was calm. But promises cannot silence hunger. I have not eaten for days. You are the nearest food. For a moment, the entire forest seemed to fall silent. Even the wind held its breath. Dev felt his knees weaken. So your gratitude ends before your hunger? The tiger lowered his head. It is not gratitude that keeps a tiger alive. It is food. Dev closed his eyes. His own kindness had led him to this moment. Yet even then, he refused to answer anger with anger. If I must die, grant me one final request. The tiger nodded. Speak. Let 3 witnesses judge whether your decision is fair. If they agree with you, I will not resist. The tiger considered the request. Finally, he agreed. It changes nothing, but I accept. Together, they walked through the forest. The first witness they found was an ancient banyan tree whose vast roots gripped the earth like the hands of time itself. Dev bowed respectfully. Wise one, I freed this tiger because he begged for mercy. Now he wishes to kill me. Tell us, is this justice? The old tree then spoke.
For over 200 years, I have stood here. I have sheltered travelers from storms. I have given birds a home. I have cooled weary workers beneath my shade. Dev looked hopeful. Surely the tree understood kindness.
But the banyan continued. In return, children carved their names into my bark. Merchants drove nails into my trunk. Men cut my branches for firewood.
I gave everything. They always wanted more. Kindness is beautiful, but gratitude is not guaranteed. The tiger smiled. You hear that, Brahmin? They continued onward. Not far away, they found an old white ox grazing beside a stream. His back was scarred from years beneath heavy carts. One horn was broken. His steps were slow. Again, Dev asked, Friend, tell us what is right. The ox sighed deeply. I worked for one master since I was a calf. I plowed his fields. I carried his harvest. I served him through every season. When I grew old, he untied my rope, not to set me free, but because I was no longer useful. His tired eyes met Dev's. The world often loves what it can use. When usefulness ends, so does affection.
The tiger chuckled softly. 2 witnesses. Must we ask a third? Just then, a lean jackal appeared from behind a cluster of bamboo. His bright eyes moved from the tiger to the Brahmin, then to the open path between them. He sensed that something unusual had happened. What seems to be the matter? The tiger explained the story with growing impatience. When he finished, the jackal frowned. I'm terribly sorry. I'm not very clever. I don't understand. The tiger growled. What don't you understand? Jackal said. The beginning. You say. You were trapped. The jackal pointed at the tiger. Tiger replied, Yes. The jackal scratched behind one ear. I must be getting old. I simply cannot imagine such a magnificent tiger fitting inside something so small.
The tiger's pride flared. Are you calling me a liar? Jackal replied. Oh no. I'm saying my eyes are poor. Perhaps if I saw it. The tiger snorted. Watch carefully.
Without another thought, he walked into the cage. He turned around. There. Now do you understand? The jackal smiled. Perfectly. With one swift movement, he slammed the iron door shut.
The rusted latch dropped into place with a heavy clang. The tiger lunged. The cage shook violently, but it held. His furious roar echoed through the forest.
The jackal calmly stepped back. You asked whether I understood. I do now. Turning toward Dev, he said quietly. Compassion rescued the tiger, but wisdom rescued you. For a long moment, neither of them spoke. The forest slowly returned to life. Birds began singing once more. The breeze moved gently through the banyan leaves. As Dev and the jackal walked together toward the edge of the forest, the Dev finally broke the silence. I believed kindness alone could change the world. The jackal smiled. It can, but kindness is a seed. Wisdom is the fence that protects it. Without the fence, even the finest garden is soon destroyed. Many people believe they are hurt because they are too kind. Often, that isn't the real reason. They are hurt because they mistake compassion for obligation. Because they ignore warning signs. Because they believe another chance will change someone who has never chosen to change. A promise cannot rewrite character. Pity cannot replace wisdom. And saving someone should never require sacrificing your own peace. The Brahmin did not stop believing in goodness that day. He simply learned that goodness without discernment can become an invitation to suffering. So, if life has ever left you wondering why your kindness was repaid with pain, do not harden your heart. The world needs kind people, but it needs kind people who know when to open the door and when to leave the cage closed. For a compassionate heart may inspire others, but only a wise heart can protect itself. And perhaps that is the truest form of kindness of all. Until our next story, take care of your heart. And remember, the strongest kindness is the one that never asks you to lose yourself.